Hattie, today we are talking about this little box camera I thrifted from Savers up by where I live, and I think it was $5.99, $6. Like I've said previously, I've gotten into 120 film, medium format anyway, and this just kind of I had that little box Brownie, and when I was walking through the Savers, I seen this box, grabbed it, realized what it was, and I had to have it. Now, this, you have to say it this way, or it doesn't work, or you can't find it. This is a 620 Brownie, not a Brownie 620, not a Brownie Target, a 620 Brownie is how you have to look this up. It took me like an hour or so Googling this thing. Now, this is a 620 roll film camera, so takes these spools, or should, but you can get 120 film to fit it. What I did, not that this would work for because you'd have to roll the film on it anyway, and if you're going to roll the film on it, you might as well roll the film on this. But this actually is a 120 spool that I've sanded down and cut the edge off, smoothed it a little bit, and it seems to work in all my 620s. This is what a 120 spool looks like from the factory. I pulled this out of, I went and shot some 120 film this weekend, and this is one of the spools, and actually so is this, but I modified it real quick just because I could. Now, okay, this is a 620 Brownie. This camera with this brand of Art Deco, and the color and the lines. This thing was introduced in 1933, and they quit making it in about 1941. So this is at least 80 years old, and it's in really good shape. Now, the way you frame this, because there really isn't much to focus, because there's no focus. There's this here, which if you're going to do close-up, see if we can do that. It's this is for 10 feet and further. This is for close-up. So you have this little lens here over the regular lens, because the lens is there's a lens buried inside this. This will give you your distance, and if you want to do close-ups, then you slide that off to the side. Now it's got a one speed aperture, or one speed shutter. It actually has two apertures. So what you would end up doing is, now this is how you shutter. So let's move this off to the side so we can see. And maybe this camera will get, the camera on my phone will be fast enough. So when you slide it, it's a rotating shutter, and as you slide it, then it just rotates this disc in here. You can kind of see, I think you can see the spring in there. So every time you go up and down, it takes a picture. Unless you pull this out, and this will give you your bulb mode. So when you go up, it locks the shutter open for your bulb mode, and then when you push it in, it releases it, and you can pull it out again, and then on the downstroke it'll do the same thing. It'll lock the shutter open. Now, this does have two apertures. This one here that you can see, then if you pull up this tab right here, you pull that tab up, then it moves a smaller hole behind the other hole. So you can kind of see the smaller hole. Let's see, there's the big aperture, which is about an f11 is just the regular aperture, and I believe when you pull up on this, that gives you an f16, which really doesn't help a whole lot. Like I say, there's no shutters. There's only, well, two shutter speeds, bulb and whatever it's at, which I think is like, I don't know, what is it? It depends on the age of the camera, because the springs get weak. Hey, you can see that. Now, if you want to frame your pictures, you have these two here. This is one of those ones that you look down through the top, and it comes out the front, and so then that's how you frame up your picture. And this way would be portrait, and if you flip it to the side and look down through this one and throughout this one, that gives you landscape mode. So yay! But you can't. There's no focus. There's no nothing. Which kind of makes this a fun, just to see what kind of pictures you get. And I haven't yet. I plan on it. I need, on payday, I'll go buy a couple more rolls of film. I did get to go shooting this weekend and actually shot that little box brownie, the Hawkeye, and my Argus Argaflex. And I actually run a roll of black and white 35mm film through my Retnet 2. And I'll be dropping the film off tonight, so it'll go out Wednesday and it'll come back the following Wednesday. So yeah, it's about 10 days, and we'll see if we can throw some pictures up. But anyway, now and also on this you have your little window, and then as the film rolls by, it gives a number and it gives you what frame it is. You probably get about eight pictures on a roll of 120 film in this. To open it, you have to take the winder, and I already had it unwound, and you rotate it until it comes up. It's on a one-way, so it won't roll the other way, but you rotate it this way until it comes up. And then this is where the two ends of a strap should be, and I'll probably make one got some nylon strapping at home. I'll probably make one out of it, but these are the two lugs that would hold that, and I'm sure it's deteriorated probably 40 years ago, 30 years ago. Like I said, it's an 80-year-old camera. So what you do is, once you got this up, then you pull up on this, and as you pull up on it, and then you can grab hold of there's two little ears here, two little race pieces, and then you pull, and it comes right out. Now the box I think is metal with the hide of the naga on it. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. They had leather back then. I don't know if they had the hide of the naga. But there's your little hole. There's a little hole for your film. Now, there's your box, and this is in really good shape too. It's not really dirty. Looks like maybe it is a hard cardboard, but anyway, it's in great shape. Here's the basics of the camera. If you look down in here, let's see if we can catch some light. Maybe not. There we go, a little bit. You can see the grain of the wood. So like this part here that the lens goes into is wood. It looks like maybe a nice piece of 1x. Don't know what kind of 1x, but anyway. So yeah, and then you've got your lens in this is a where was it? A Daiwei lens, meniscus lens like everything else. And then plus, like I said, you've got this other lens over the top of it. your picture size on this, or the negative side, would be a 6x9 centimeters, 6x9 centimeters. And you've got little rollers here. So what you end up doing is you take your take-up spool here, because you put it on this side, which is the bottom side. Put it on the bottom side because it has a hole in there. So your take-up reel, can go through the hole, or your take-up reel can go through the hole, and then your winder can grab onto it and wind the film, and it will wind it this way, which would pull the film along from up here across the back and then down to the bottom and take it up here. So your spool needs to, your take-up spool needs to fit here. Now remember, if you're going to shoot this with the 620 spool, when you go to have it developed, if you don't do it yourself, when you go to have it developed, make sure they give you this back, because this, you can get them, but you got to go to eBay and blah blah blah. Who wants the hassle? So just make sure they give them back to you. This one here, the one that I modified extensively, I think I went a little bit too far on the edges, because it's actually a bit smaller than the 620 spool now, but the height is, let's see if you can actually see, the height is about dead on. And this, once you get it in here, is kind of slightly loose, and so is this. This has a little bit more, little tighter, but not much. So then you put that in there. Put that in there. You can rotate it around. Pretty good. So you can use this as a spare while you're waiting for your film developers to give you your 620 back. Well, that's probably what I'll use it for. But anyway, now this won't take. This is just a stock 120 spool, and it's just a bit too big on this side as well. Just a bit too big. This is where you put your unexposed film. You put it in here, and it's just a bit too big. It doesn't even want to go in the slot. So what you're going to have to do when you get a new roll of 120 film is you're going to have to at least trim the edge off. And it was on a different video, I showed how you take a pair of nail clippers. Take a pair of nail clippers and you clip off. Take a pair of nail clippers and you clip off this outer rim. And then sometimes you can get away with it, but sometimes not. Just take it over. The way I did this is I roughed it down really quick on some 60 grit, and then kind of polished it up with 240. And it's not perfect, but it'll work. But this one, once you get the mod done on the roll of film, this one falls in and works pretty good. You kind of want a little drag. You kind of want a little drag on it. That way the film, as it's coming up, because it'll take out from here, because this is your unexposed roll, and it'll go over the top, across here, and then that lens down in there will briefly shine light on the picture, hopefully in a correct pattern that it's seeing out the front, and then you come back down over here, and then this spool here snaps in, engages the winder, and pulls the film from here to here. And then when you do this, you click, it takes pictures. You can actually even see. see it because now that I got the back off, there it is. You can see my shirt. But anyway, so also on this, when you get them, most likely you won't be able to see through this through either one of these viewfinders. You won't be able to see nothing because it's down in here. There's a mirror that's usually glued onto the wood that's in there, and they're so dirty and so dusty. But you can take these 4 screws out, and this front plate will come off. Actually, you have to pry up. Just take a screwdriver really carefully and pry up on the edge of the silver ring, and the lens will come out. And what I did is, while I had it out and had the lenses over here and the faceplate over here, I just took some Windex or some Zeiss wipes and wiped down the mirror and wipe down this little front lens, and then wipe down and then clean the head with alcohol and everything with the 2 actual lenses here and here, and then 2 more here and here. Just get all the stuff off with the dust and grit off with the alcohol, and then finish cleaning it up with either Zeiss wipes or Windex. And then these are kind of hard to get snapped back in. You might have to, they've got like on the bottom of it kind of a little funny dink outwards. You might have to kind of straighten that up. But these are still in here good and tight. They're not going to fall out. I can pry them out easier if I wanted to, but see? But they're not going to fall out. They're still in there good and tight. And so then, but like on this one, if you look down through the lens, you can see the age of the mirror. See all the squigglies and haze through the mirror. This one, let's see, yeah, this one as well. This one actually has almost a little heart in there. That's on the mirror. I could probably replace the mirrors, but you can still see. You can still line up what you're going to line up. See? Yep, wrong way. Hi. So yeah. These are great little cameras. They're relatively plentiful. You should be able to find them anywhere. I wasn't really looking when I seen this, but it kind of fell in my lap. I ended up going looking for my Agfa Ansco number 2, which is actually a 6-16 film, which I'm going to have a friend make me some adapters. But anyway, these are relatively cheap. Like I said, I picked this one up for $5. Your results may vary. Once you get the film in it, then all you really have to do is slide the 2. Well, okay, unless you've been fiddling around with it like we have. Rotate that back out so it's out of the way. You can kind of see where it's out of the way now. Put the box together. You can go 2 ways, but it can go 2 ways, but it ain't gonna go together 2 ways. Snap it back together. Now this is popped back down, so this will actually lock the top of it, and then you rotate your winder until you find the groove in the take-up spool, and then rotate it, and then the film will feed from here across here. You'll see your number here, and then back down here. Like I say, you'll probably get about 8 pictures out of this one. But yeah, it's from anywhere from 1933 to 1941, making it right around 80 years or more old. I haven't taken pictures with it yet. Payday, I will go buy some film, and probably next weekend I will go and shoot it, just like I did the other 2 last weekend. But anyway, oh, and originally these were priced out at $2.50 American. $2.50. Pick this one up for $5.99, $6. Go find you a box camera, load it with 120. It's really not that hard. And shoot it. The reason why we didn't load any on this is because film is expensive, like drugs. But go shoot it. Oh, and also, this is the US model. The British model had a much more elaborate lens, and not this Art Deco. But anyway, this Art Deco is to the 620 Brownie, not the Brownie 620, the 620 Brownie. All right, see you later. Get shooting. Bye.